Hey everyone, it's Paul from One Cast, One Fish. And today we're going to be talking about the AScope on the Garmin Striker 4 Fishfinder. Here we can see our traditional sonar screen. And if we look to the right of the screen, you'll notice there is no AScope. So what that means is we're actually currently looking at our returns from our 2D sonar. And the one thing you may not realize is that all these returns we're looking at are actually historical. That's right. When we're looking at our 2D sonar, the information on the screen is actually historical data. Those fish arches we see on the screen have actually already passed through our sonar cone, and therefore are no longer within our sonar cone underneath our transducer. So by the time we see our full fish arch, the fish has actually already moved beyond our transducer's cone area. And if you really want to know how fish arches are formed on our fish finders, I recommend clicking up above or down below in the description for the link to a video entitled Fish Arches Explained, as it's a deep dive in how those arches get on that fish finder screen. So that leaves the question, how do we get the most up-to-date and accurate information on our fish finders while we're out on the water? And if you guessed AScope, you'd be correct. So what is AScope? According to Garmin, the AScope's a vertical flasher along the right side of the traditional sonar view. And it expands the most recently received sonar data, so it's easier to see. Now let's look at how to add the AScope to the fish finder screen. Let's start at the home screen and select traditional sonar. Now press the menu key. Scroll down to and select sonar setup. Now scroll down to and select appearance. Now we're going to scroll down to the AScope and simply turn it on. Now you'll press the back key until you return to the traditional sonar screen. The AScope will now be active on the right-hand side of your screen. So what information does AScope provide, and how is it useful for you? The AScope acts as a live view of the sonar cone, just like a flasher. Earlier we talked about the sonar screen being historical data. Well, the AScope is in real time. By using the AScope, we can get a lot of information instantly. And since the AScope shows what's in your transducer cone in real time, we can learn a lot. First, AScope is going to show you what fish are actually within your transducer cone at that moment. This means that you can know which fish are currently located in that zone and make them easier to target. Jigging. When vertical jigging, AScope can be helpful as it'll let you know that your jig or bait is within your transducer cone area, along with any fish. This can be especially useful when ice fishing as well. AScope can be helpful in noticing fish that are sticking close to the bottom. If you look at your sonar screen many times, fish on the bottom tend to blend in with the bottom and structure. With AScope, these fish tend to be a little bit more visible. And last but not least, if you look to the bottom of your AScope, you'll see a number. That number is the current estimated diameter of your sonar cone. That means you can take the displayed number, divide it by 2, and know exactly how far to every side of your transducer your cone is covering. This lets you know exactly how much of the water column you're actually looking at. I hope you found this video on the Garmin Striker 4 AScope both informative and helpful. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask down in the comment section below. And we'll see you next time on the water.